Now we'll go to Dave Price for question number 2, and this time the candidates' order will be Jean, then Nancy, then Nisa, then Teresa, then Anita. Thank you. Over to you, Dave.
Okay, on August 28th, the consultant unveiled a vision plan that would transform the downtown by adding possibly a theater, a hotel, office projects, a teen-oriented plaza, a beer garden, ping pong tables, and a 775-space parking structure, all in the area where the parking plazas are now located. What is your impression of that proposal?
I think we need to have more vibrancy downtown to have our businesses survive. There are 2 ways to do that, to have more people downtown. One way is to build 4 or 5-story building all over downtown, and the other way is to apply, to execute the vision. The vision is a way to activate our plazas, to make the best use possible of some of our plaza. By the way, it's, I think only 3 of the plazas are being proposed. And as I said in the council, I think the plan, the vision is a la carte. It's not a set menu. We don't have to execute all of it. We can execute some of it. I know some of the things I'm very excited about, like the Central Plaza. I'm also excited about having the theater downtown. And maybe some other of the feature of the vision, but I think it's critical that we start to do it.
Okay, so there are some really great things in the downtown vision, and I have followed the process through for the last 2 years. There were over 40 different community outreach efforts by the consultants into our community. What they presented on August 28th is basically a consolidation of all the different various ideas that came up. And the ultimate goal is just a guiding document. It's nothing at this point is set in stone. It's simply a guiding document to what could be done. So it's going to involve a lot of future discussions among the community and the council, and of course, finding ways to finance different things. But there's some really exciting parts to it. So I am in favor of picking the best of them and implementing them. And I do think that I just wanted to mention I'm not in favor of an above ground parking structure, but possibly something below ground. And with that, I'll stop, but we'll talk about it again, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you. I also support the action that Council took in adopting the Downtown Vision Plan as a guideline to aspire to. And the Downtown Visioning Plan, for those of you who don't know, it actually spans over 25 years. And so there are several great ideas in the plan, but this is just the first step of many. And I think there are some low-hanging fruits that we can immediately implement as council. And I think when I'm elected to council, that's one of the first things I would want to do with city staff and the consultant, is to figure out what are these low-hanging fruits and what are the things we can implement now for the community. The city conducted several surveys, and what we heard from the community is that we want more vibrancy. And when we think of more vibrancy, we're thinking about more restaurants and shops downtown. So we need more feet on the street so that restaurants will want to be in our downtown. And so I support many aspects of the Downtown Visioning Plan, and I look forward to looking at what we can realistically implement, of course factoring in the budget concerns and other resources that we will need to implement them. Thank you.
Teresa, over to you.
At the risk of being shot dead on the spot, I'm going to say I do not actually support the visioning plan as it is put together. Once again, I think the voices of a majority of the residents were not heard and considered in the surveys. The reason I say this is because the way the surveys were conducted, everybody was given sticky tags, and all the sticky tags were exactly the same color. There was no controls for whether you were a resident, whether you were an employee, whether you were a visitor. There was also no control for whether people were voting multiple times. So I do not think it's representative. The results are representative of what our town wants. As I speak to people, I hear repeatedly, oh my gosh, what about that visioning plan? And all I can say is, I don't know. I'm not I'm not very fond of it. But I will also add that I'm very committed to the businesses that are in our town, and I feel we have a responsibility, whatever we do moving forward, to ensure that the businesses that are here that have committed to our town are allowed to remain in this town.
I substantially agree with what Teresa said with respect to the process. I thought it was very difficult. The primary thing that concerns me is how we actually make good decisions that will help our downtown and not, with unintended consequences, hurt it. I think one of the biggest risks that we're taking is with respect to the parking, which I believe is what Mr. Price actually first asked us about. And that is that if we replace, and by my count, it would be up to 7.5 of the 10 parking plazas with some other structure, one of which would be an above-ground parking structure, we have the possibility that we'll actually choke our very valuable downtown businesses. Saratoga suffers from a lack of parking. Los Gatos has difficulty with parking, although they have a good parking management system to compensate for that. If we don't manage how we do this, whatever it is we decide to do, and sustain parking, we are going to hurt our downtown businesses. And one of the things that the people in our city, I think, value the most is a vibrant downtown business community.